computer case in a box. Today is kind of a big day because for a really long time, I'm talking 10 years, I've wanted to build my own computer case from scratch. And I've been playing around with a fully printed case for a long time, and I do realize that it didn't make sense. There's too much plastic to make it a strong enough viable option. So I'm going to do it using extrusions. So I should have almost everything in this box to build a full case. And if you're expecting like a high-end, super detailed computer build, nope. This is going to be budget. All used parts, mostly. And yeah, so I'll be just going through how I've designed and built the case itself. The PC part of this won't be my main focus. So yeah, let's get into the box and start looking at the plan for the build and how I want to do this. So these should be most of the parts. Let's just go through my plan. So my plan is that it's a simple rectangle box, and I'll be using just printed panels for the most part. The panels will hold the back, so there's one special panel for the back. This will hold the GPU, the PSU, and the motherboard. The rest are pretty much identical. So all the side panels are identical. They're all the same. The bottoms are a bit different. No ventilation there. And then the front, of course, is bigger because the front is bigger. So these are all printed in PETG. I chose PETG because I didn't have to worry about warping as much. These are really big flat panels, so printing them in ABS would have been a lot more work. So I went with this really nice green PETG. I'll put the name of the filament here somewhere. And yeah, I've got this bronze silk PLA accent just because I wanted something to break up the whole square boxiness of it. So yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about the individual features as I go along with the build. The some parts like the mainboard and motherboard and the PSU have some extra brackets, of course. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of smaller printed parts. I'll get back to those later. Now, the main thing about this is a aluminium frame, and I did consider going with just blind joints everywhere, but then I thought, you know what, I can get a little bit more extra space and still keep with like normal sized extrusions. So these are all 200 or 300 millimeter extrusions. There's nothing custom. And then I went with corner cubes. This just gives me a little bit more room for a GPU, and also some fans on the inside of the frame and stuff. So I could probably do this with blind joints. I chose to do corner cubes. And that, my friends, brings us to today's sponsor. JLCMC sponsored all the extrusions and the cubes for this custom PC. Ordering extrusions from JLCMC is super easy. Find what you want, add in your specification, your length, and the number, and add to cart. They're a one-stop marketplace for high-quality mechanical and electronic components. Their prices beat other platforms and retail stores by a lot. You can download free 3D models to test fit before ordering. New members get up to $70 in coupons when they register. Check out the links in the description to get started. First step is to put together a frame. Now, this is a very simple frame. It's just a rectangle box thingy-majig. So working with extrusions are really easy. One edge threaded, so I did these myself. You can order them threaded. I just didn't know if I was going to do blind joints or corner cubes when I ordered this, so I have to thread them, but that's not an issue. I have a video on how to do that, so check it out. Now, the main thing about putting together a frame is to put it fully together without worrying about making it square. And then I have a trick for what we're going to do. So this is quite simple with corner cubes. You just screw the screw in, cube is on. Make sure that each corner is aligned so that they're the same on both ends. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep going to get the entire frame together, and then I'm gonna show you how I get it squared up. So 2 seconds. All right, we have a frame. It's not square. That's the next step. So I'm gonna take off all of these protective tapes, thingy-majig, plastics. And then I'm gonna go get my secret weapon. So give me a little bit of a moment here and I'll get everything ready for the next shot because I'm a professional. Now, this is a shelf from a TV stand thing that I had years ago. I kept the glass when I threw it out because it's flat. It's perfectly flat. So I can now use this as a flat reference, and as long as I push stuff into it and tighten bolts, they should just end up being square. I could, and I probably am gonna go around the edges to check if it's vertically square, but in theory, if these corner cubes are correct, it should be square. So give me a second and I'll just start. What I'll normally do is I'll just loosen the screws on one corner, push them both down, and then tighten. So you don't need to over tighten these. You're screwing metal screws into aluminium, so maybe don't over tighten them. And then I'm just gonna go around probably 2-3 times on all of these, and I hopefully should end up with a square frame. So wish me luck, I guess. I have a square frame. Now, just to say it, this is a computer, not a printer, so 100% square doesn't make a difference here, but it's square enough to where I don't think it's going to be an issue. Now, I'm just going to test fit some of my panels and then take them back off again because I'm going to paint this. So I'm going to try to go with more of an aesthetic look for the build. It's going to be in my living room. So I'm just going to paint the entire frame in this copper paint. I know a lot of people do this just with printers, so you can totally just paint this entire thing. Just remember that all the screws are going to be painted in, so might not be the easiest stuff to get out. You could also just paint all the extrusions and then assemble it. I'm just not going to do that. This will be just fine painted as is. So I'm just going to get that done today, and then I'm going to come back after the painting's done. I'm just going to go light coats Probably gonna do a bunch of coats, like 5, 6, 7 coats, super light. I'm just gonna focus on the outside. That's the only part that's gonna be visible. So yeah, I'm gonna head down to my paint booth, get this sprayed, and then tomorrow I'll be back filming and we're gonna start putting the panels on. So wish me luck for the painting. Ooh. So the frame is painted. I missed one spot. I'm just gonna hide that. It's on the inside. It doesn't matter. All the outside is nicely painted and ready to be assembled. Now, I just realized when I was about to start the camera that I have to build the computer in the case the first time, because I use, like the motherboard, I use it to align everything. So I'll have to build while I assemble it. So I got the board here. I've already assembled the cooler and the RAM, so that's ready to go. So I'm gonna start with heat sets. There's not too many heat sets on this thing. There's a couple. I'm using heat sets to hold the front fan in, and then the motherboard, the GPU bracket, and then between all the panels I have these little brackets just to keep them from not being so loose, and those use heat sets too. So I'm just gonna do all the heat sets, and then I'm ready to start putting components in and putting panels on. So yeah, I'm just gonna use this opportunity to show you heat sets. So let me get the camera set up and I'll show you how to do heat sets super quickly and easily. So yep. All right, so when doing heat sets, it's important to be prepared. So I have a lot of heat sets. I have all my parts ready. And the special thing that I have is this. It's just a piece of metal. I just need some sort of flat piece of metal so that when I put in a heat set, I can put this on and that'll help keep the heat set straight and also start cooling it down a little bit. So just makes it easier for me to get them perfect. So to do heat sets, I put my iron at slightly above the printing temp of the material that I'm using. So these ones are PLA, so I have it at 260, which is probably enough for PETG as well. And then I'll get the heat set in place. I'll have my little thing ready there, and I'll just use my iron, and you can push it on that way or this way. I'm just going to push it down this way, and don't apply too much force and just let it just slowly go in. Now the higher the temperature of your iron, the easier they're going to go in. So I'm just going to go and do that, and because it's sticking up a slight bit on the backside as well, there's a little bit of plastic there, and that makes it so that it's perfectly leveled with the surface. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of these things and put them all in. I'm not going to film all of that. That's going to be boring to see me do that like 30 times. And then we'll see what happens, I guess. Heat sets are done, and I've gone ahead and just test fitted all the parts, the components, just to make sure everything works. I tested the PC, powered it on, everything works, and then took it back off, and I'm gonna just put it together the right way. So I'm gonna start with the motherboard. Now I just left in the parts that I had to fit for this because the motherboard and the GPU and the backplate, they all kind of have to like get in to the right place. So once you get all those three in together, tighten all the screws and you're set. So I'm just not going to bother doing that on camera. It's no, I mean, you can watch me fail for about 10 minutes, but that's just fun for you, not for me. So I'm going to still start with the motherboard. I've already fitted the cooler and the RAM. The motherboard is a Z170 G1 Gaming from Gigabyte, and The CPU is a 6700K, so not a new gen CPU at all, but it's still a really good CPU for gaming. 4 cores, 8 threads, and there's some Fury Beasts DDR4. I can't remember the clock speed of these. I'll have to put that on the screen. I'm gonna do that anyways. 3200. So this is a ID cooling low profile cooler. So my original idea for this was to make it really small with a SFX power supply, but we figured that we already have this power supply. There's no use in us wasting money just to make it a little bit smaller. But the low profile cooler still comes in handy because the power supply is on top of this cooler. So I did give it a lot of space. So I'm just gonna start putting in components and film whatever I put in, and then give you a little notification down in the corner about what's happening. So let me do this, and yeah. I'm not gonna bore you with all the talking and all that stuff, so let's put out some music and make this a little bit more fun for you. Not me, for you. have it. The build came together. I really like how it kind of has this vibe with the green and this bronze copper-ish color. You don't really see the frame, but I'm still glad that I did paint it, because there is like a little slit in between all the panels where it kind of comes out, and yeah, it's a really nice effect. So the one thing is that I had to swap all the panels for the B-roll stuff that you just saw, because on this setup right in my studio, this part is visible. When I put it in my living room, the other side is visible. So I just have to swap these panels and turn the top panel around for all the USBs and stuff. But that's kind of the good thing about this. It's fully modular. If I want to change anything, I can just reprint the part and adapt it. So super easy. The back came out really nice. I don't have an IO cover. I haven't had an IO cover for this motherboard in 8-9 years. So don't come at me for that. It supports a 2.5 slot GPU, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but all the side panels have holes to put in a 120 fan. And realistically, the only place that you can fit a 120 fan, normal 120 fan, is this top and the front right side. The other spots you need a slim. So I have a slim going on the CPU side, the one that's closest to the CPU fan, just for some extra cooling. But yeah, it's even just a quick test that we did here in the studio. It works great, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. And I'm tempted to do a full size for my main build, but I have kind of an expensive, really good case for that. So that's not a priority, but it might be something to look into down the line to do this on a bigger scale. So if you want me to release the files for this, let me know. My initial thought I wasn't gonna release the files, but if someone wants to do something similar, I can release the files and have a generic set of panels set up. And yeah, because it's all modular. You can do whatever you want with this. If you have basic CAD skills, you can really customize it. So if you liked the video, do that. And if you would subscribe, that would mean a lot. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next video. Kinda. I mean, really, do I really give it? Nah, I don't.